I'm Kate Stanley. I'm Director of Programming with Center for Communication. I know some people are still coming in after today's break, but if you're sitting in the back and you want to move closer to the front, we can all, sit in the first few rows because we'll be a smaller group with these workshops. Um, Today's workshop is Breaking Out of the Patterns of Imposter Syndrome with Rima Algosen. Rima is a proud Lebanese American and lifelong Jersey girl with a passion for celebrating people and creating lasting relationships. On her journey, she has gained experience working in higher education, talent and leadership development, diversity and diversity, equity, and inclusion, programming and partnerships in the creative industry. She now works at Netflix, focusing on creating space for underrepresented emerging talent. Let's give Rima a warm welcome.
Hello. This looks so official. It feels so like I wasn't prepared for this. How are you? The clicker's not working great. Oh, now it's working wonderfully. Hi, everyone. My name is Rima. How are you all today? Yeah? Okay, good. I am here to talk to you about breaking the patterns of imposter syndrome. What does that even mean? How many of you have heard the term imposter syndrome? Right, it's pretty common now. How many of you have felt like you've experienced imposter syndrome at some point in your life? Yes, my favorite. Always good when we have a room full of people who are phonies and frauds. It always helps this. I raise my hand because I also do as well too. A little bit about me. That's me. Um, Give me a second as I get used to this. Okay, this is me. I am a 43-year-old Lebanese American woman. I will be 44 in August, and I'm pretty excited about it. I am a Jersey girl. I live in Yonkers because of love. Only because of that. But otherwise, I'm a true Jersey girl through and through. I am a self proclaimed best aunt. I love my nieces and nephews, and I am the most fun you'll ever have. I am a bonus mom as well, too. I have a 13-year-old at home, and she is a softball player. So, like, in the last couple of years, I've become a softball mom, a bonus mom, a plant mom. I have like 60 plants that I love dearly. Some don't make it all the time, but, I still love them. And I love music, theater, dance, video games. Like, I'm pretty simple. Go Knicks. Anybody? Yes? Okay. Personal life. I went to school to do journalism. I was like, growing up, I'm like Lois Lane and April from Ninja Turtles and all of this. And then I like went and I was so bored. It was not the same. I was not like solving crimes or, like saving the world. So it was not what I expected. But I can write really good emails and really good memos at Netflix. I went into higher education, and then I fell in love with leadership development. I was just like, oh, there's so much more that makes you a leader than just being really good at your craft and the technical skills that you learn. And so I went into higher education and I started working on leadership development and working with, people who are like early going into their careers. I then moved over into like doing leadership development in corporate spaces, working with people who are like at every level in their career. It's a lot of fun. My favorite though is still college and like early career. I just think there's like so much space to grow and so much more passion in those spaces. So like you're all in a really cool, interesting time in your lives. And then now I work a lot in emerging talent. So I work at Netflix on the emerging talent team, and I create programs and a lot of the curriculum for our internships, for opportunities and programs to like gain access into the industry. We have a 20-month entertainment marketing certificate program that we do at Otis College of Art and Design in LA, and so we have a cohort that's going through that right now. Those are folks who are interested in like trailer editing, key art design, like promotional creative for movies and shows. Netflix, right? Makes sense. I've done a lot of work on like inclusion, authentic representation, especially like in our creative work. So like, are we authentically representing the folks that we are putting in front of you on Netflix, on the screen and the platform? And yeah, I love wellness. Honestly, I do a lot of healing. I guess I have a lot of trauma, but I work on myself a lot, and just want to bring good into the world. So that's a little bit about me. We're gonna take a second to get a little bit to know a little bit more about you. Is that cool? This is an interactive workshop as well too, so like you will be talking. Is that cool? I will pull on you. There's some vulnerability. If you're laughing already, you know I'm calling on you. So just be ready. You've caught my attention. All right, so we've already level set. You all have heard the term imposter syndrome, right? What is it? 8 in 10 people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their career. If you haven't yet, if you haven't done it in your life, amen to that. You may, though. You still could. Not that I want you to, but I want you to be prepared. And it can happen at every level. It can happen when you're first starting off in your career. It can happen when you're getting promoted. It can happen when you're becoming a CEO. Like these things show up, and they show up in different places in your life. And there's a lot of patterns that get created as we kind of find out more about who we are and what this does to us. So, what is it? I'm still figuring out how to use this clicker. There we go. Really simple. It's just a collection of feelings of inadequacy. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just a bunch of feelings that make you feel inadequate at some point in time. Does that resonate a little bit more? Can we say we felt that? Yeah. It's not a sickness. It's not a diagnosis. It's not something you can go get medicine for. It's just like when a bunch of feelings arise in you where you feel inadequate, and it creates a whole bunch of patterns that can kind of really be debilitating. That in those moments, that's when you're experiencing it. You may not experience it all day and all night in your life. Sometimes you may. And it was coined by two psychologists, Dr. Pauline Clance and Dr. Suzanne Imes, and they studied 150 highly successful women. They were like award-winning, accomplished, high-ranking. Like you look at them on paper, you have no doubt that these are highly successful women. And what they all had in common was that they all felt like their success was either luck or like somebody didn't find out, they didn't deserve it, that it wasn't earned. Does that resonate with you? Have you ever felt like that? Yeah. And so we were like, wait, how are these women who highly successful, you can't even doubt it, still doubt themselves and still don't feel like their success has contributed to who they are and their skill set? And people feel like that all the time. And I started getting interested in this because I had gotten promoted at the time to be a VP and an executive director of a nonprofit in the advertising industry. And I worked my butt off to get there. And I was killing it. And I was like really having a lot of impact and really doing well and running this nonprofit well. And I still felt like I was on the verge of failing all the time, or I was just like not doing enough or not proving enough. And I'm like, what is going on with me? So I just started researching it a lot, and this came up. Then I started learning more about it, and then I was like, I'm not the only person who experiences this. And so I've done this workshop, I don't even know, since then, since like 2020, probably over 100 times. And I've done it for, like I said, every level. I've probably done it at Netflix 50 times. And that's with like executive leaders. So I'm here to tell you, like, this is the most normal thing you can have as a human. But like what you can do with it, that's on you. And like we get to work on it and like pull it into our strengths. So I do a lot of like just shout out. You don't have to raise your hand or anything, but shout out when you are experiencing imposter syndrome, what fears come up for you? I don't belong here. Classic. Yeah. I don't deserve this. Fear of rejection. Absolutely. Like make one mistake and like it's all gone. Anything else? Someone's gonna find out. What are they gonna find out? That you don't, yeah, they're like that you're not equal and you don't belong here. Yeah, some fear of exposure for sure. Any others? Yeah, I'm not at the same level as all these folks here. Yeah, you must have done really good lying on your interview. Yeah, how about you? That you're not good enough? Oh, that you're not doing enough. Oh, how many people just say yes to everything all the time? I'm so guilty of that because it's not enough, right? Anything else? These are great. What's that? Regret? Tell me more. Oh, that they're going to even regret knowing you and hiring you. Okay. Fear of success. People don't think about that. Can you tell me more? Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. You go after that job you've always wanted, and then it's like you're scared you're not going to get it because then it proves that you're not worthy. Then you're scared you are going to get it because now it's like, now you got to show up. Now you got to step up. And now you actually got to be the person you convinced them they were. And all of a sudden, we've been lying in interviews this whole time about our capabilities. Then it's also like, what happens? Like, now I'm going to have to work really hard and not see my family, not see my friends, and ostracize people. It just, a lot goes into success, fears of success just as much as failure. So thank you for sharing that. Here's some more. A lot of you said them: success, failure, judgment, not belonging, isolation. I don't know about you, but when I'm in a tough spot, like, you won't find me. I will be in my room, in my bed, hiding and isolating and feeling all alone. I could be in the office in that corner, nobody talk to me, I see head nods, so I'm not alone. I feel good. Judgment, rejection, we talked about this. How it shows up. The feelings are one thing, right? Like, you could be scared right now and nobody would know. But how it shows up is what exposes you. It exposes you to yourself, but it can also create a lot of debilitating patterns and practices at work or at school or just in life that can really self-sabotage, right? So here's how it shows up. And if there's any that I don't mention and you want to call them out, I'm totally down. But catastrophic thinking. Anybody experience this? You want to know what that is? It's like ruminating all day. I forgot I'm live, so I'm going to try not to curse, but I'm from Jersey, so good. Wish me luck. Ruminating all day, thinking of the worst case scenarios, like what can happen, what's going to be. Catastrophic thinking takes over. It's very tiring and exhausting. How many people experience this? I think I saw a few. Okay. Procrastination, that's me in my bed, actually. You don't know that, that's a real picture, but procrastination is so debilitating, right? What I don't think we always really realize is when we're procrastinating, it's not that we're BSing until we get to the task and that sense of urgency. There's a lot of steps that go into a process before you even get to the task. And it's usually in here. So you're working through a lot of fears and emotions and thoughts and stresses and circles of stories running around, which create procrastination, but it's your thought process time. But when we think of it like that, it can really stress us out. Self-sabotage, going overboard, saying yes too much. Just me, I'm terrible at it. Avoiding responsibilities, and it leads to job dissatisfaction. Why? Because even if you're doing your dream job, if you're this stressed out and you feel like you don't belong every single day, there is no way that you can enjoy your job. It's like even the things that you love the most no longer feel good. And I've experienced that multiple times. I'll share with you today. So today we're going to do a quick pop quiz because I don't know if you know this, but there's actually 5 different types of imposter syndrome. They all kind of feel a little bit similar, but they're driven by something different. We're going to learn about each type. We're going to learn about your favorite type, whatever you score highest in, and just some patterns. And if I can leave you with some small tips, you're not going to leave here cured, feeling so amazing about yourself. But a couple takeaway tips of things that you can do, small things every day that can help you feel a little bit better and prepare you on this journey. Because I got to tell you, it's a journey. And there's levels and waves of it as you continue. Does that sound good? Does everybody have their phone or pen and paper, something that they can use to take this quiz? Yeah? All right, so I'm going to walk you through it really quickly. You could do it like this. This is just a visual example because I'm a visual person. Or you can just list them down. You're going to put P, S, U, N, G, S, O, and E. And you're going to leave space because you're going to put a point anytime you say yes to a question that I ask you. Really simple, right? So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. It's like 3 slides. And every time you say yes, because each question is associated with one of these letters, you'll put a point next to the letter. If the answer is no, just do nothing. Deal? So by the end of it, we could look something like this. Make sense? Really easy? All right, I'm going to stand over here, and I am going to read the questions. Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. Have you ever been accused of being a micromanager? If that's a yes, put a point under P. Do you stay later at the office or work from home, school, whatever, later than the rest of your team, even past the point that if you completed the day's necessary work? If that's a yes, put it under SU. Do you get stressed when you're not working and find downtime completely wasteful? If that's a yes, you can put it under SU. Do you have a track record of getting straight A's, gold stars, or awards in most things you do? If that's a yes, you can put it under NG. Do you feel that you need to accomplish things on your own? If that's a yes, you can put it under SO. Do you not apply to jobs unless you meet every single requirement? If that's a yes, you can put it under E. And do you constantly seek training because you think you need to improve your skills to succeed? If that's a yes, you can put it under E. Sure. P, S, U, N, G, S, O, and E. Good? Okay. All good with this slide? Okay. Next slide. Do you have difficulty delegating, or even when you're able to delegate, do you feel frustrated and disappointed in the results? If that's a yes, put it under P. Have you let your hobbies and passions fall by the wayside, sacrificed to work? If that's a yes, put it under SU. Growing up, were you told you were the smart one in your family or peer group? If that's a yes, you can put it under NG. When you're faced with a setback, does your confidence tumble because not performing well provokes a feeling of shame? If that's a yes, you can put it under NG. And do you ever think, I don't need anyone's help? If that's a yes, put it under SO. Even if you've been in your role for some time, can you relate to feeling like you still don't know enough? If that's a yes, you can put it under E. And do you frame your professional requests in the terms of the requirements of the project rather than your needs as a person? If that's a yes, you can put it under SO. Does everybody understand that one? Okay. Yeah, it's like if you're in a meeting, let's say with a manager, somebody who's like a instructor or anything, and they're asking you what support you need, and you focus more on like the task at hand rather than like, here's what I'm experiencing as a person, here's where I'm struggling, here's where I could use support as a human. Helpful? Okay. Last slide. When you miss the high bar on something, do you ruminate on it for days? If that's a yes, you can put it under P. Do you feel like you haven't truly earned your title despite numerous degrees and achievements? If that's a yes, you can put it under SU. Do you feel like you must be 100% perfect 100% of the time? If that's a yes, put it under P. Do you avoid challenges because it's uncomfortable to try something you're not great at doing? If that's a yes, put it under NG. Okay, is one of your core values self-reliance? Like, I don't need anybody, just me. That's a yes, put it under SO. And do you have more than 3 degrees, professional certifications? If that's a yes, put it under E. Easy quiz, right? Any questions? Yes. Got you. Do you want me to read them out loud or you good? Read them out loud? Okay. You ask for what you need. I like it. Have you ever been accused of being a micromanager? If that's a yes, put it under P. Do you stay later at the office or work from home later than the rest of your team, even past the point that you've completed the day's necessary work? If that's a yes, under SU. Do you get stressed when you're not working and find downtime completely wasteful? If that's a yes, under SU. Do you have a track record of getting straight A's, gold stars, or awards in the most things that you do? If that's a yes, under NG. Do you feel that you need to accomplish things on your own? If that's a yes, under SO. And do you not apply to jobs unless you meet every single requirement? That's a yes, under E. Do you constantly seek training because you think you need to improve your skills to succeed? That's a yes, under E. You're welcome. Anyone else? Good? Cool. This should be the easiest part of your day. All right, you ready to talk about it? Okay, we're going to go through all 5. And like I said, if it starts resonating for you, please share. It makes it easier. Like, Imposter Syndrome loves company. It helps us get through things. All right, how many of you had the highest under SO? And if you had somewhere like they were all around the same, we'll talk about it. All right, SO. SO is the soloist. The soloist says, the only accomplishments that matter are the ones that I achieve on my own. Like, if you're in the soloist mindset, literally, it can feel like at that time, it doesn't have to be always, but when you're in this space, that if somebody's helping you, even with one part of the project, you did not accomplish it on your own. You're unable to accomplish it on your own, and therefore you're not worthy of what you're supposed to be doing. Does this resonate at all? You know, when you're in the soloist mindset, it's hard. It's hard to show people you're ugly, right? Like when I first got to Netflix, I had a boss and I'm like working on a bunch of projects and she's like, just share me into your work in progress docs. Like, just share. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, you can't see my thought process. It's crazy. It will expose me. I can only show you the finished product. That doesn't work in a lot of places. Like, you need to bring people along on the journey. And so it was really debilitating for me. It would make me pause. It would make me procrastinate. It would like bring up all these fears. I'm talking about working with like some of the most brilliant people, you know, in the creative industry, and I'm here. And not only that, I actually can share this on my Google Doc, and the entire company can look at it and give me feedback on it. Does that freak anybody else out? Because it sure did freak me out. Yeah, it was really tough for me, really tough. And it didn't allow me to enjoy my job at first. And I had to really push through. And if I did get help at first, it was like, well, then that means I can't do this on my own. That means I don't know what I'm doing. I need support. I need other people's ideas to make this happen. You hired me for my ideas and for my skill set. So to need help would mean that I can't make it on my own. That sucks. It is not a good feeling. It's also not true. It's also not true. When I ended up sharing all the things and I got feedback, it was actually really helpful. It made my ideas even better. It was actually really supportive. But it's really, really hard. It's really hard for an SO to ask for help. It's really hard for an SO to even admit they need help, right? And sometimes that can lead to working till the last minute on yourself. And by the time that you can even ask for help, it's kind of late. Now it's like on fire, you know, and it's a red flag. Sometimes, I don't know, have you ever done this where like maybe you're new or maybe you have a question and you think it's a stupid question and you'll like spend hours and hours and hours looking for the answer. You finally can't, then you finally talk to somebody and they show it to you in like 2 minutes. You're highly in an SO mode. You're like, damn, I could have figured out where that file was like 3 hours ago. That's usually when you're in this space. Does this resonate for anyone? Anybody down to share? I see a lot of head nods, but yeah, do you want to share?
Yeah, I was gonna say that like the way that this has manifested for me is like what you were talking about. Like I really have trouble admitting that I needed help in the first place, and then it can sometimes like backfire, like where it's like you should have just asked. Like no one would have been mad if you just asked a while ago, and then
Most people don't care.
you
Yeah.
asked on.
Yeah, most people want to help. I
Yeah.
mean, if I asked any of you for help, who would help me? Every single person in this room almost, or except you, sir. You do not want to help me. It's all good. It's fine. I will not take offense. But yeah, when that's going on, like when it's like, I should get some help, what is your brain saying to you?
It's like, well, like if you need to ask for help, that means that like you're not qualified,
Yeah.
basically.
And so now, like, you're going to expose yourself.
Yeah.
Like, why would you expose yourself to not be qualified? It's
Yeah.
kind of wild, right? Anyone else open to share? Yes.
I think what makes it kind of difficult for me is like being in spaces where no one else is asking for help because everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, I can't be the odd one out. Like, even though I'm new, so it's like, people are gonna expect questions. But
Right.
it's like, I have to maintain like this environment of everyone knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I kind of have to just figure it out.
Everybody's faking it. Everybody here just told you they're faking it. Everybody's trying to figure it out too. But you're right, especially if you're brand new and you're on a team of people who've been there forever and they're like moving so fast. It looks so fluid to them. And you're like, I got to keep up. You don't want to mess up the flow. You are the flow. What are you talking about? Yes.
I think it resonates with me when I'm working with people who are more in a senior role,
Right.
and it feels like I'm like a young person, like a new person. It's like I have to match like their energy, being there for like many many years.
Yeah.
But also, they always talk about being autonomous with your work, and it feels like being autonomous contradicts asking a lot of questions at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's really
It makes a lot of sense. There's certain things you can't avoid, especially if you're new. You're like, I don't have a huge backing of experience behind me to do it. So I'm working with a bunch of senior people who look pretty busy sometimes, look pretty anxious and like running around, trying to make everything work. And I'm over here and I'm going to go ask you a stupid question because like I'm new, and how am I impacting them can happen all the time, right? And then just like not wanting to look silly. And there are some, there's some mean people in the world, so like it can happen. Um, and so I hear you. So that is a scary part, and it's a normal part of it. What is it? What do you do though when those fears come up? Yeah. I love that tip, honestly. I thank you for sharing that. What she's saying is find your safe spaces and ask people questions that you can, right? So if you're like, maybe I shouldn't go to the CEO and ask him that. Maybe I shouldn't go to the CMO and ask her that. Like, you don't have to do that. Find your safe spaces. There's somebody on your team that can help you out. There's somebody that can do it. Build a relationship with your manager, you know. And autonomy doesn't mean you have to figure it out yourself. You know this, and I know you know this, but just a quick reminder. Autonomy means that you can handle knowing when to ask questions and when to bring someone in, and that even if you're responsible for that task or that assignment, that you're the one who's thinking of it and thinking of what it needs and thinking of how to make sure it's done in the most successful way. That's true autonomy, right? But in our heads, we're like, autonomy means get this shit done myself. Oh, it came out. Get this done myself, right? That's what we think. But really, autonomy is, are you the one who's like informed captain that you know everything that's going on and you're helping everything move, but not that you're doing it by yourself. But it's hard when you're in that space. So thank you for sharing that. So for my SOs, it's tough. It's not easy. It means so much more. It's not just like, oh, I want to do this. I need to do it by myself. There's like a whole visceral reaction happening inside of you sometimes when these things are going on, and it's understandable. So here's some tools that you can use when you're in that space, even if you're not always in it. But something you just mentioned, like I put creating a help map. Know where to go and who to ask for. And not everybody is the same person. Like you shouldn't ask one person for everything. So like do yourself a favor and just like know where your safe spaces are. It has backfired on me when I've asked for help before. I will tell you, like I remember being so depleted at a job. I was planning leadership development conferences across the country, like at least 40 to 50 a year. Amazing, like 9.5 on evals out of 10, wonderful. But I was getting burnt out because I was doing a lot of it. And I think I finally asked for help, and I had a manager tell me, well, maybe you're just not good at your job. And it crushed me. But then I realized that wasn't the safest place for me to go, right? But it also told me I'm in the wrong place. So sometimes asking for help might not get you the answer you want, but it will give you an answer about like what your next step should be and if you're being supported. Practice for wellness, because I'm always into the wellness, but for yourself, like let somebody do something for you, something small. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be, like I said, a senior leader. It could be a friend. It could be a sibling. It could be just someone you don't even know handing you a cup of water. But just like start getting comfortable receiving. I know it seems silly, right? Like a little thing, but if you start practicing that daily, you get through like the discomfort of someone doing something for you. It does start shifting your mindset. And then ask for help. One is receiving if somebody offers it, but also just ask for help. Like again, start small in safe places, but those little things will just start you getting more comfortable with it. And if it is at something like at work, you know, maybe you don't want to go to that senior leader and ask them your dumb question, but ask them to take a look at something and give you feedback on it. You know, something where like you can start getting comfortable with those awkward conversations. And I would always ask you what really matters. And I ask this question to myself all the time. I was like, does it really matter that I get it done myself? Because that's solely for me to make me feel better, or to do like to validate or invalidate whatever my fears are. Or is the important part is getting this project done and having it be successful and do that. And like start shifting what really matters in those moments is helpful. All right. Who got P? Top one for P? A couple perfectionists here? Okay, we don't need too many. You only need really one. So let's talk about our perfectionists. All right, the perfectionist mindset is mistakes are unacceptable. I should have done it right. I should have done it 100% right 100% of the time. Okay, if I have to, if there's any error, it's tied to my self-worth. So if I make a mistake, it means something about me, right? Perfectionists can be really critical on themselves. And in turn, you can end up being really critical on others. You can be critical like on the teams, people you're delegating to. You might have this vision of what like perfection looks like on your project. And obviously people aren't in your head and can't do the same. And so even when you do delegate, it's really hard to like find peace in it because you're still worried about it. It's still your responsibility and it still has to be perfect the way you want it. And so sometimes you're not like the most fun person to work with when you're in that space. But it's tough because you know, if you're constantly reprimanding yourself and criticizing yourself based on imperfection, it's really hard to like give grace outside of you as well too. But for perfectionist, who cares about the quality of their work? I do, right? Everyone does. But when you're in a perfectionist space, there's no room for error, right? There's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself, a lot of anxiety. There's this high standard of expectation. And I gotta tell you, like, you're not gonna meet it 100% of the time. I hate it's a something to break to you now, but it's not possible. And so therefore you're constantly disappointed in yourself. It's a really crappy way to live, right? I can tell you when I'm in a perfectionist mindset, I could put like unreasonable amount of things on my to-do list for the day. And let's say I put 30 things on my list, I get 28 of them done, I failed today. And when I go to bed, I'm thinking about what I didn't do. I'm thinking about how I didn't do it great. And I was probably had the most horrible day trying to get it all done. But when you're in a perfectionist mindset, you also sometimes plan with like a perfectionist like schedule. If I do everything the way I need to, I can get it done. It's really hard to hit those targets because like life's, and then you fail. And then you're not even thinking about the 28 things that you did successfully. You're thinking about the 2 things that you didn't accomplish. Does this resonate for a couple of my perfectionists? Are you open to sharing?
Yeah, it was something that I realized as perfectionist, but I didn't realize it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I used to be a really big procrastinator. If like I had an essay or something to write, I would avoid writing it. And I realized at first I used to think it was because I was like a last minute person and it was funny. But then I realized it was because I like couldn't stand the thought of writing a first draft that was horrible,
Right.
and I wasn't able to like sit with something that was bad, even though it has to be bad before it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciate you sharing. That's so real. When you are in a perfectionist mindset, procrastination happens a lot. And why? It's like a lot of times we're thinking about the end product. Like I know what the end is going to look like. It's going to be amazing. It's got to look like this. But there's so many steps it takes to get there. And sometimes when you're in a perfectionist mindset, you're like, your brain has already skipped all those steps. You're just going to the perfect part. So when you start actually doing it, and it's like, it looks ugly, it looks ridiculous, it looks crazy, there's scratches. Sometimes that first sentence is so hard, right? Because there's so much weight on it. This sentence must be perfect. So I'm sitting here writing a sentence that I'm expecting to be perfect and lead the entire project. There's no way I can get started. Procrastination is like the most appropriate thing to do at that point because so much pressure riding on that perfect, expectation. And if it doesn't happen, what does that mean about me? I can't really do this. I suck. I'm a fraud. This should be easy. This should come effortlessly. I should be able to get it done and execute my vision perfectly. Otherwise, I can't do it. Does that resonate? So you're not actually procrastinating. You're dealing with a whole bunch of fears and emotions that are happening to you that can literally freeze you and debilitate you. And you have to process it. And sometimes the only thing that gets you out of it is the sense of urgency that has to get done, right? It's a cycle that really can be very, very, very tough. Yes.
Because I'm in the honors program at my school right now, and I've had this like thought like that I don't want to do it anymore, just because going into senior year, I don't want to be stressed.
Amen.
It's too much going on.
Right.
But then there's a part of me where I'm just like, well, it's not going to be worth walking across the stage if I'm not walking across the board. Like, what is the 4 years worth if I didn't actually finish the program?
Right.
And I'm like, I shouldn't even do it at that point. I might as well just put my mental health through all these different struggles
Yeah.
if it means that people get to see me as this like straight A student who graduated summa cum laude. Like, if I'm not graduating with those achievements,
Then what's the point?
yeah.
So it's like, forget the fact that you're graduating from college and that you did something amazing that a lot of people, do struggle with, and apparently kicking butt in it. If it's not exactly how you envisioned it, then it doesn't count. What's the point, right? What happens then? In those moments, what are you doing? You're also ignoring what your body's telling you. You're ignoring every other part of you that wants attention, right? So could you definitely graduate summa cum laude? I have no doubt. No doubt. You're killing it already and you can already do it. And if that's the path and that's what you choose, I love that for you. And also consider all the parts of you that you may be ignoring to get there. And it still might be worth it. You might be like, hey, I'm going to ignore the part of me that loves to swim and loves to play tennis and loves to bake. And I'm just making all these things up, right? Loves all of that. I'm going to put that aside for another year because this is what it is. And just understand that. That's a conscious choice, but also understanding what comes with it. You may be tired, you may be depleted. So start thinking about like what you can do to help yourself in those situations so it's not such a tough choice. And also, if you don't do it, there are some ways it's not easy to shift your mindset of like the gratitude of how amazing you actually are in what you're doing. But I know that's not easy, so I'm not going to throw that at you. But honestly, right? Think about all the things that you accomplished that you didn't even expect to while achieving that perfectionism. I'm sure you're actually pretty amazing. I have no doubt. Um, both of those things are choices, but there are ways that you can support yourself through that. Like, what are your lines? What are your boundaries? What am I willing to do? What am I willing to not do to achieve this? And sometimes when you create those boundaries, okay, I want to get summa cum laude, but here's what I'm not willing to do. I still need, I would say 8 hours of sleep, but I'm 43, so maybe some of you 6 hours of sleep. Maybe that's your minimum, right? What is that? Sleep is so good when you get older. I don't know about anybody else, but I love it. But what am I willing to do? And where's my line? So when I hit that line, I might need to reevaluate what this perfection is doing to me because this is actually hurting me more than helping me. Does that make sense? You have to know your line. If I can ever give you that, because once you start crossing it, then it's more about this and proving something to yourself or making sure you don't prove to yourself that you're not worthy. And it's not actually about you and taking care of yourself and what really matters. Go ahead. And then,
I think that what has like kind of helped me step away from this mindset is just if it's coming at the cost of my mental health, at the end of the day, none of these achievements are going to matter because like, okay, I'll walk across the stage, but then it's going to be me having to undo the damage and
yeah.
suffering through that
Yes.
entire year. So I'd rather be happy and graduate
Yeah.
than to graduate with cores that literally made me cry.
And that's your line, Like my mental health is more important to me now than it ever was. It wasn't important to me for a really long time. And I had a very successful career. And also I was unwell, if I could be really honest with you. And now that's more important to me than, climbing a ladder that I created myself. So I really appreciate you knowing what your line is. And I hope you choose you for sincerely. Any other perfectionists want to share? It's all good. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, yeah. And if I can't even get to it by myself, then I don't even belong here as well too. Hold on one second because the next one is a combination of both. And that one might resonate with you a lot. So thank you for sharing that. So some practical tools. I know this is going to be hard when you're a perfectionist mindset, but like someone told me once, a manager was like, I know you're striving for 100, but what if 80 was good enough? And I was like, excuse me? Like, you just made me question my whole identity, and clearly you're not from a Lebanese family. So that's not even an option. But it's pushed me to that now. Like, I am in a place now where I'm like, okay, if I can make it through 80%, that's really great, because the procrastinator that's focusing on perfectionism isn't going to get me anywhere. Like, it's going to keep me stuck. So try to define what success would look like before you start it. Like, what does 80% done look like? And before you start a project, 80% is a lot. 80% from 0 is amazing. 80% from 100 feels like so far away. But you're starting at 0, so like remember where you're starting from when you're in this space. A wellness suggestion is done is better than perfect timer. What I have found that works, it goes against all of my inside being, but it does help, is I'm gonna work for 20 minutes instead of I'm gonna work until this is done. It shifts what I'm focusing on. It shifts what's important. It's like, man, I just knocked out 30 minutes of this project that I was too scared to start. And that's what I start celebrating versus how much of this did I get done. Not like, oh, I've done this for 30 minutes and it's not done. It's not supposed to be, right? So starting to shift that helps a lot. And then a daily practice is just like, if you're open to it, if you like to journal, if you do reflect at night, it's like one thing that you started but didn't finish that day, and like give yourself credit for it. Say something nice to yourself. We probably say way less nice things to ourselves than we do terrible things throughout the day. All you need is like 1 second sometimes. Cool? All right, SU. Who got SU? High ones. Okay. SU is a superhero. That is the perfectionist and the soloist together, because that's when they're saying, if I were really competent, I could do it all by myself and I can do it perfectly. Okay, so now I'm a recovering superhero. I will just say that right now. I work on this all the time. But when you are a recovering superhero, or when you're in a superhero mindset, you are pushing yourself past all limits. There are no boundaries. You're the last person to stay at your job all the time. You take on the most of a project. You say yes to everything, even if you're exhausted. Not just at work, personal life, parents, family, partner, friends, anything. You're the person who comes in to do it all, right? There's a lot riding on you. Your success carries everybody. Like, there's so much pressure. And sometimes you get to a point where you're like, well, I know I can do it. I don't know if they can. I can do it. I can be stressed and be fine. Other folks can't, so I'll take it on. Anybody ever say this? I used to say this all the time. You say no? Okay, anymore, right. I was like, teach me your ways, because I did this all the time. Anybody ever feel like if they're like not doing something, that they're not being productive and they're doing something wrong? Do people have a hard time just like sitting around and just being bored? Yeah, it's like, I should be doing something. I should be productive. That is definitely in the superhero mindset. It's like, oh, the time I'm sitting here wasting, like resting, I could have just like saved 2 other things and got 2 other things off my list. It never ends. Hobbies fall by the wayside. Personal joys fall by the wayside. I gotta tell you, when I was in my deepest superhero state, workaholic, literally workaholic, working morning, noon, and night all the time, weekends, just like always thinking about it, always worried about it. At the same time, helping my family through crisis, multiple probably, things going on. Felt pressure to be there for my friends all the time. Like, I could tell you, in my 20s, it was a good time. You could go out, I could go like every single day of the week, right? And still, I don't know how, be a functioning human. If I said no once, like, people were to be upset with me. Like, I created all these codependent relationships. And the thing about being a superhero is people only call you when they need you, right? Who calls a superhero just to say hi? So you start building relationships where you're just like constantly, like, they're solely connected to need. And then you don't ever need anything because you can't, because you're a soloist, right? So you never ask for help. So here's what happens. At first, you got youthful energy, and maybe you burn out, you need a weekend to recover. Then you keep doing it like this, you might need a week to recover. Then you get to a point, and this happened to me, honestly, where I needed a couple years to recover. I had gotten so burnt out, my body was like, sit down. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. and I'm gonna just do this. And it's like, no, you're gonna sit down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work till midnight, and I'm gonna no, you're gonna sit down. And I fought it the whole time, and I was still trying to give myself the same expectations as you have when you're in this space, and I was failing all the time. But what happened, I was ignoring my body, I was getting really sick, and I was becoming like, I was disassociating from things that mattered to me, and I was like isolating and just like couldn't do anything. And I could tell you now I'm in a much healthier space. It was really hard at the time, but it taught me to slow down. It forced me to slow down. And it taught me to start asking myself, like, what matters and what can I do? Started listening to my body. But it took a lot to get me there. It took a lot to get me there. And so it may feel like the best decision you can make right now, but there's a toll and there's a price. And the thing about it is, when you're in the superhero mindset, there's a part of you that probably cares very deeply about things and people, right? Like, heart is good and pure. But a lot of this is coming from feelings of inadequacy. So like, I'm staying late, people are gonna know I'm working hard, right? I'm gonna continue working until it gets done. People can then rely on me. I'm gonna do it. That's my ego. It's my ego. And it's all because what you really don't know is that I don't even feel like I belong here. Even though I'm killing it and I'm crushing it, I'm doing all these things, I still don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm not a good enough friend because I wasn't there 100% of the time. I'm not a good enough partner because I wasn't there 100% of the time. I'm not a good enough employee because I'm not there 100% of the time. It's impossible. Does this resonate for anyone else? A little, yes? Are you open to sharing? I know, I see you in the corner in the dark and I calling you on the spot. Yeah, you can use this if you want. Oh, does this work? Here, use this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I was in the same place. I worked as a journalist and a mother and a wife and a very active community member. Just feeling like the amount of burnout, even if I was working hard and doing all the things and making sure that it was the cost was on me. Like my body really took a toll, and so I'm recovering from that still. And I think that that takes really years and the impact of that still is it hits me at different waves and different times because I was trying to feel adequate in those environments. And so sometimes when I'm even like reaching back out to the people there to catch up with them, I feel this like heaviness just approaching that person or that place because of what I went through, in my workplace, just the pressure that I put on myself.
Thank you for sharing, even when you weren't expecting to. But I feel like we're in therapy now. Let's do it. But that's real. And it's cool sometimes too when you're younger and you don't have a lot of responsibilities and it's just you. But like as you get older, if you do want a family, if you do want things, it starts adding up. And you're just tired. And then you're not a fun person. I could tell you I couldn't even enjoy going to parties, or I would miss parties. I would miss celebrations and baby showers and all these things because I just put too much on my plate and I said yes to every single thing. So it can be really hard because you just like forget who you are completely. I think there's another one share. If you don't, oh, I'll do two. Do you mind? Sure.
Do you feel like this superhero mindset comes from this like burning urge to be competitive? Because I definitely see myself as like the superhero mindset, and I qualify for like all of the things that you said. But I feel like deep down, like what drives you to be a superhero in a lot of situations is that you don't want to fail any competition. Like you want to be the top of the game.
Yeah.
At the same time, you also have the very high expectations of the people around you.
Right.
For example, that like I'm trying to be attentive in every kinds of relationships and environment. So likewise, like I expect that you treat me 124/7.
Yeah.
How does this like psychology work?
It's tough. It's tough because I'm competitive. Anybody else here competitive? Yeah. I like to win. Winning doesn't mean perfect. But when you're in a superhero mindset, winning does mean perfect. So I think it's more how we define it, right? Because let's say you and I race and you trip, but you get up and you still beat me because you probably can. That's fine. That wasn't perfect, but did you still win? Or is that a no? Did you not still win?
I think eventually, yes.
Okay. But are you focusing on the tripping and falling, or are you focusing on the win? Right? And I think when you're in a superhero mindset, a lot of times it's what's driving you. If you, I got you up in the front, I'm in the back, I got you. But it's what's driving you, right? So if you're like, I need to do this and I need to do it perfectly and I need to do it by myself, or I suck and I am not as good as I think I am, that's when it's harming you. But if you're like, I'm motivated and driven by competition, I love that. I love that. But how do you define winning? I think is going to be really, really important for you because um, I'm the best auntie. I'm not there every single time. I don't answer the phone every single time, but I'm the best because I said so. But I'm the best because I'm a good time, right? And I'm a lot of fun. You can't tell my nieces and nephews any different. But if I was like, being the best means that I am always there when they call, always knowing what they're needing, knowing what they need before they even tell me, that's when you're in a superhero mindset. And like, that's just not even realistic. That's when it starts becoming unhealthy, you know? It's like a broader question, but we can keep talking. My friend in the back, did you want to say something related to this?
Yeah, I did.
Please.
Just thinking about the Knicks game that happened.
Speaking of imperfection,
We
yeah.
were gonna lose. Like it wasn't looking great in the third quarter, but in the very last quarter, that's when things really started to happen. So like for example, the game isn't over until it's over, yes. Right? And you don't when you're competing for something,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you have all of that time. But then also are any of those players on the court any less professionals, any less at the top of their game because they lost one game?
Right.
Or because they lost multiple games. I mean, the Spurs came back with a win, even
cheating is cheating, but whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
But it's just that idea of there's always like just because you're competitive, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best. Or just because you win, even though it's nice to win, things the
Yeah.
way that the world is, it's kind of almost like fate in a way.
You can win. Thank you for using a Knicks analogy for today. It couldn't have been better. I really appreciate it. But like, yeah, winning doesn't mean perfect. But if you're in a superhero mindset, it absolutely does. And that is not unachievable. I can tell you, I'm really proud of my life and my career. I've had a really successful career, and I did it my way. And nothing I did was perfect. I could tell you that there. And if I'm beating myself up because of that, but not because I did so great, then it's a tough one. Oh, thank you. You're the best. I'm going to do my best on that one. Okay. I'm going to keep it moving. There's a lot of hands, but I'll leave space. Do you have something quick you could share? Because I don't want to do that to you. You said it's long? Okay, let me get through it and then I'll come back to you. I appreciate it. Okay, because I don't want Kate to be mad at me. Then I really mess things up. Quick tips if you are in the superhero mindset. There you go. Block off recovery time. So in my calendar now, I have a lunchtime. It moves. I'm not always great with it, but it's there, right? I have a daily walk time. Like, get up and stretch time. Like, value that as much as you value your meeting time and whatever else. If you have a hobby, you only need to do it for like 10 minutes to still have the hobby. It doesn't have to be 3 hours or an hour, because when you're passionate, you get really into things for a long time. But you could be surprised if you have something. Set 10 minutes a day for yourself. It changes how you do everything, and also lets you like walk away from a project and come back fresh. Body check-in. I don't know if any of you do this or comfortable, but like every once in a while in the day, I close my eyes and I'm like, what do you need? I can sit there and I can feel the pains in my body, and I'm like, okay, I need to stretch. Like, oh, okay, I didn't drink today. Or I just was in 4 meetings, I didn't even use the restroom yet. Like, my body will tell me pretty quickly, And when it's done, it's done. And I can't argue it. And I tried many times. And then another daily practice is to choose one task to delegate or decline each day. Obviously, be mindful. Don't tell your boss no. That was something very important, right? But like, find that one thing that you could be like, that can happen tomorrow, and I'm okay with that. It seems silly, but those small things bring up a lot of feelings. And if you can navigate small things through it, it makes the bigger things a lot easier too. All right, I'm going to try to move a little quickly. Unless the clicker says no. Okay, how many of you got the E? A couple of E's. So E is the expert. The expert is, I'll tell you as it takes a second. Okay. If I were actually smart, I'd know everything I need to know about this topic before I even start it. Okay? So I can't put myself out there until I have all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom, all the experience. I can't put myself out there and say yes to trying a project that I've never done before, because that will expose me. So now I need to research everything. I need to get all the certifications. I need to get all of the things before I can even start. When you're in this space, you definitely don't want to look stupid. So you might be hesitant to ask a question in a meeting, right? Why? Because you should have known. Because if you were really qualified and if you were here, you should be the expert at it. And if you don't know something, then they were wrong for hiring you. It's tough. I know a lot of people of different ages, who literally will not start projects, will not apply for the job, because they don't have 100% knowledge and wisdom of something. That's really debilitating. Most people apply for jobs when they have 50, 60%. If you're from an underrepresented community, then you're looking closer to 100, right? Because you feel like you need to have that and to be able to keep up. It's tough, right? So they're constantly driven to know more things, which also can be really great. But the thing about it is, you don't necessarily start something yet. That's tough. So you won't pick up projects, you won't start things. It could take you forever. It can lead to procrastination. It could lead to missing deadlines. And the thing about it is, it's never enough. I have a friend who's studied everything, researched it, been around the country, been around the world, all that, and she's always like, but this one more training, and then I'll be ready. So you're never ready. So you're missing out on so many opportunities that you could have had months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, and you don't actually start it. And here's where fear of success comes in. Because the more you move up, you're going to have different responsibilities, more than the ones that you just had and you just mastered. And that can be scary. And that's when you're like, oh, wait, now I have to work on budgets and profit and loss. And now I have to work on memos and then presenting to in front of people. Now I have to pitch. And you're just like, all these new things come up and brings up a whole bunch of fear. And now you have to study new things to get there. So sometimes you don't apply to that job that you probably could do and put yourself out there. Does this resonate for any of my experts? Yeah, can I take a new person? You want to share? Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's hard when you're in it because, like, right, you get into this cycle. But we're comparing ourselves to people who have been doing it for how long, right? And that can be hard. Even if somebody's been there 6 months longer than you, they've been doing it for 6 months. So like all the awkward questions and that weird part, they've already gone through. And so we don't see that, and like we start comparing ourselves to the folks that do it, and it's hard because then you're never going to be able to keep up. You can't keep up with me if I've had 20 years of experience and you've had one, right? But if you're comparing yourself to me, it can pause you from even starting. And it's like, well, I need to get just as much experience to feel just as qualified as this person. Well, then you won't feel qualified for 20 years. That's hard. Then you might not ever even start, you know? So it can be really, really tough. It's driven by a love and joy of learning and desire and like wanting to do it. But if it's getting to the point where it keeps stopping you from going, right? Learning as you go is really hard because every time you're learning and it's tough and there's discomfort, it reminds you that you're not qualified enough. It reminds you that you should be doing more. It reminds you that you should know more. And so it can be really, really hard. But this world is like, they'll throw you into the fire and you got to figure it out as you're in it. And that's really what it is. So it's going to bring up all these feelings and you still have to keep on moving, right? So I'd say this to everyone, embrace positive feedback for what it is. If somebody gives you a compliment, somebody tells you you did great, and either you say this out loud or in your head, thank you, but you did not receive the compliment, okay? So that's for everyone here. If you're saying that to yourself, that means you're like, thanks, but you don't know that email I did, or thanks, you don't know how hard it was, or you don't know how ugly it looked like 2 days ago. You're not embracing it for what it is. People who are giving you that feedback know all of that goes into it, and they're still telling you that you're doing an amazing job. So try to start like receiving. Just say thank you. Don't even say anything else. It goes a long way. Quick tips, and then we'll go to the last one. Reframe expertise. List out 3 things you know well enough to teach. Well enough to teach at level 1, not well enough to teach a master class. You're not teaching PhDs. What can you teach me right now? I am sure there is something you really enjoy or a topic that you can talk to me about, that you can educate me on right now. And it could be something simple, right? Start practicing that. Another one is saying, I don't know, but I'll find out. Works every time. And then share one insight or idea publicly with a person. Share something that you haven't fully fleshed out with someone new, and just like see where the ideas go. Some people might not take it well, some people may, but like start practicing sharing like your ideas that aren't fully thought out with someone. It goes a long way. I'm sorry, Kate, I need like 1 more minute.
Oh, sure.
Appreciate you. Last one, who got NG? Okay, my natural geniuses. Natural geniuses, as if we're really smart, this would be effortless. And if I were really competent, it would come quickly and easily. Natural geniuses are the type of people that like, everything just came easy. How many people like where you were young and like you could pick up on things pretty quickly, right? It could be a sport, it could be a game, it could be just like a strategy. If you're a natural genius, stuff's just easy for you. So when something is difficult, you hate it. The discomfort is real. It's like, it's proving like, I'm not good enough, I can't handle this, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't like it, it's creating discomfort. And what usually happens is you walk away from it, right? It could be a board game. I've seen people who are like picking up everything easily and then like all of a sudden a board game is bothering them and they're like flipping the board and you're like, what just happened? it's tough. It's tied to your identity, And so you're when something feels effortless, you move towards it, you're motivated, you're driven, your serotonin goes up, you're excited and you're motivated by it. When it feels hard, literally there's no motivation behind it. It's hard, you're like, what is this? I know I usually get things quickly. This is hard. I'm not supposed to be doing it. Now, it's fine if you're playing a board game, but it's tough. It's tough if you're at work. It's tough if you've given a new project and this is coming hard. It's tough if it's like a new part of your role that comes with a promotion and all of a sudden you're sitting here and you hate it and every part of your body wants to run away from it. Because that's what happens. That's the pattern that'll happen. You're like, I don't want this. I want to run away from it. I don't want to. It's exposing. People will see that I'm not qualified. And I don't even feel good about this. This doesn't even make me feel good about myself. So when you're in the natural genius mindset, you're just really struggling with also needing to learn as you go and also like just not being really great at something right away. It brings up a lot of those things. Does that resonate for my NGs? Okay. Here's some support. Practical tool, growth log. Keep track of the things that you're working on and improving. I am learning how to play this hand drum, and I sometimes never felt more stupid. Like the little basic things that are really hard. But picking up a hobby is really, really helpful because you have no choice but to start at the beginning and suck at it and like really work through it and commit to like doing it for 3 months. Like put that type of a commitment. It helps a lot. So you can normalize the struggle, right? Try something brand new. It helps so much. And then celebrate effort instead of outcome. Again, I worked for 30 minutes today on this. You know what? This was really, really hard, but I figured out step 1. Start celebrating those things. Get out of the final destination. Get out of the outcome. Because when you keep focusing on the outcome, it can seem like it's so far away. It can really, really debilitate you. I am over time. I hope this was helpful. Everybody feel okay? Everyone's cured. Yes? No, I'm just kidding. I will share with you, this isn't easy. It is a lifelong journey. It comes and it goes. If you haven't experienced it, I hope you never do. But if you do, I hope this helps gives you some awareness. And if you don't, you're going to work with a lot of people who do. You're going to be friends with a lot of people who do. You're going to be, it'll be in your family. Compassion helps to like solving problems way faster than criticism. So, just help each other out. That's my prayer for you all. But good luck. And if you ever need to talk, I'm here. Thank you.